Speaker, taking note that under provisions of Standing Order number 72, I, William Oduol, a duly elected member of the County Assembly of Siaya representing East Assembly Ward, propose to move a motion for the impeachment of William Oduol, the Deputy Governor of Siaya, for 1, gross violation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and other laws, and 2, abuse of office and gross misconduct. The specific grounds for the motions are outlined in the motion.
I would wish to defer that to tomorrow, but now that we're on recess, let me be guided by the standing orders. Standing order number 71 talks on procedure for removal of the governor by impeachment, and it says, before giving notice of motion under section 33 of the County Government Act 2012, the member shall deliver to the clerk copy of the proposed motion in writing, stating the grounds and particulars upon which the proposal is made for the impeachment of the governor, or the grounds of gross violation of a provision of the Constitution or any other law, where there are serious reasons for believing that the governor has committed crime under the national or international law, or the gross misconduct or abuse of office. The notice of motion shall be signed by the member who affirms that the particulars of the allegations contained in the motion are true to his or her knowledge. And it goes further to say that a member must have obtained approval from the clerk. So may I establish whether you got approval from the clerk? And it goes further to say that the motion should have been signed by at least a third of the membership. Fellow members, I confirm that the motion, the notice of the said motion has met the threshold. It has been received by the clerk, signed by over 26 members of the Assembly, and therefore I will guide as follows. That pursuant to Standing Order number 71, 4 and 5, upon expiry of the 7 days after notice given, the motion shall be placed on the order paper and shall be disposed of within 3 days, provided that if the House is not then sitting, the Speaker shall summon the County Assembly to meet on a course and cause the motion to be considered at the meeting after notice has been given. I therefore direct that the motion having been admitted and having met the threshold, that the Speaker shall appoint a date upon which the motion shall be placed on our order paper and considered, disposed of with as soon as possible. And that date shall not be earlier than 29, because the standing orders direct that that after the expiry of 7 days. In essence, it means that your motion has met the threshold and it has been, notice has been given, but it will be tabled for consideration. The motion will be placed on the order paper and you will discuss on merit. I now move the motion that this House adopts the report of the Committee on General Oversight on the allegations raised by the Deputy Governor, William Oduol, on corruption and mismanagement in the County Executive of Siaya. The Speaker, sir, the Committee on General Oversight is a committee that is established pursuant to the standing orders of this House, and specifically Standing Order number 162A of the Siaya County Assembly Standing Orders. Mr. Speaker, this is a committee that boasts the uniqueness of being manned by all the members of the county assembly. And Mr. Speaker, in its mandate, the committee is allowed to invite to its meetings members of the executive to address matters that relate to more than one county department, to address questions that are needed to be addressed by the committee, and deal with matters which, in the opinion of the Speaker, can be better handled outside the other House committees. Mr. Speaker, the Committee on General Oversight is a culmination of investigations undertaken by the committee, that is the report of this committee, on the allegations of corruption and mismanagement in the county executive, allegations that are stated and proven by his owner, say-so, by the Deputy Governor. Mr. Speaker, these investigations were launched or commenced or put on initiation by the Honorable Francis Otiato, who invited the Deputy Governor to appear before the Committee on General Oversight and provide media platforms, and provide evidence in the allegations that he made on various social events and on social media platforms, the fact that there was corruption and mismanagement at the county executive. And so, Mr. Speaker, this is the recommendation of the House. That one, having determined that all the allegations as presented to the House in writing by the Deputy Governor stand unsubstantiated, have not been satisfactorily substantiated, and having therefore looked at this as perhaps mere conjecture, without proof, without substance. And Mr. Speaker, what is not substantiated, in other words, has no substance. And Mr. Speaker, this House directs that in the future, all state officers within this government, and that includes ourselves, Mr. Speaker, and public officers, must desist from making allegations, public or private, official or non-official, formal or non-formal, that when called upon seriously to engage and substantiate, they cannot substantiate. Mr. Speaker, that in the future, any state officer, and I add again, executive or assembly, or public officer, in these two arms of government, that wants to make public complaints, or even private, on the management of the county government affairs, must process the issues and proceed through the duly established institutions and agencies, so that you speak as an officer to what you can be held to account for, and to which you can account satisfactorily, and to which you can provide substance satisfactorily, and which you can substantiate before man and before God.
Mr. Speaker, it was really very hard time for us to come to this conclusion. And again, when we started this journey to try to understand where there can be problem within our executive, and I stated it here, in moving the motion that possibly there is just a misunderstanding at our executive or broken channels of communication. And this has given a lot of room for rumors and a lot of name calling. Mr. Speaker, allow me to say that going by the allegations that were put forth, it is good for the people of Siaya to know the actual truth. Mr. Speaker, having gone through the documents, because I asked for these documents from the Deputy Governor and it was presented. So far, I would say and support the finding of the General House that on issues like, say, the first issue on bursaries related with corruption, all the three angles of this issue, bursary, Mr. Speaker, there is no specific reference. Like, if you suggest, he's making a policy suggestion that the principals or the head teachers of the benefiting institutions need to be incorporated. I think when we were passing or during amendment of our Bursary Act, I do recall very well that some of these were part of the considerations, and that the application forms were being used and had to be signed by the head institutions. Mr. Speaker, in his own right, the Deputy Governor has suggested that we need to get these people involved, failure to which then it is riddled with corruption. I'm just wondering, in Igbo East, we do 300, about 300 to 400 students every financial year benefit, and from different institutions. Some come from even Capello, some come from even Mombasa. Our students are there. Will you tell me that it would be tenable for us here in Siaya to invite head teachers for all the 300 schools?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this report as read by the chair. Mr. Speaker, we have had a series of months where Siaya County is in news for all the bad reasons. And sometimes news, whether good or bad, is still news. But when the source of news is somebody as senior as the second in chain, then that is a matter that needs to be looked at very, very keenly. Mr. Speaker, I will address myself to page 20 of the report, where the former DG, the DG is alluding to the fact that certain allocations were removed from Alego and sent to some other places. Mr. Speaker, there is a reason why we do supplementary budgets. And this is not the first time, neither we did with the last time. We do it when new funds have come into the place that were not yet factored in as at the time that we were making the original budgets. We do supplementaries when needed as a reason that was not factored when the very first one was being done. The budget that we are implementing now, all of us are aware that was done in the last regime, Mr. Speaker, sir. After campaigns, it's natural that we campaign based on a manifesto and some agenda that we want to drive and achieve as leaders. The purpose for supplementary one, therefore, that was discussed and adopted by this House, Mr. Speaker, was to address the emerging issues. What were some of these emerging issues? The emerging issues that we had to address are things that rose from the pledges that we made. And the former DG, was at the heart of the campaigns when we were telling our people that upon assumption of office, Mr. Speaker, then they will not need to suffer thinking about seats and fertilizers.
In this one, we want the deputy governor also to tell the great people of Siaya that who gave him this mandate, or is he trying to show us that he's sabotaging his boss? This honorable house.
Supplementary appropriations bill, supplementary number 2. From the contents of the bill as presented by the Siaya County Executive Committee through the Unit of Finance. Mr. Speaker, allow me to emphasize, as earlier stated to the membership in other forum, that the bill sought to introduce very few changes to the budget, and that major in the introduction was the establishment of industrial park, a requirement by the national government for every county within the Republic of Kenya. And that adjustments